Hey guys, it's Merce. Welcome back to Harpies in the Trees. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I've worn this and I've posted it in my stories, and I talked about how I was the janitor of Mordor. And today I am going to be your midnight janitor, and I'm going to be doing a tag that's super fun. Books with Emily Fox originally did a tag called Fuck, Marry, Kill, where she took a handful of characters from very popular books, put their names in a container, and then drew 3 names, and then she would decide which one she would fuck, which one she would marry, and which one she would kill. So I decided that was really cool and I enjoyed it, and I did link the video down in the description box below if you want to check that out, and you should. It's really fun. But I wanted to take it and put a little bit of a horror spin on it. So instead of fuck, I decided that I would do necromancy, because to me there is nothing much more romantic than getting together with the person that you're really into and summoning the dead. Collecting graveyard dirt together, and dead flowers from graves, and rainwater that has been dripping off of mausoleums, and just all of the things that you really need to have a really good experience with communicating the dead can really bring 2 people together really well. So I thought, that's pretty sexy, at least for me. Why not let's do necromancy? For Mary, I wasn't exactly sure what to do, but my boyfriend was like, marriage is sort of like a cult, and I was like, yeah, you're right. So join a cult with that person, or to create a cult with that character. And for kill, I decided to go ahead and go with sacrifice. Because sacrificing someone or something to the ancient gods is, I like it. So earlier this year, I had done another tag that was Who Do You Think You Are? And it was actually another tag from Emily Fox. I just like her tags, I guess. But she did this one where she took all of these popular characters and then pulled them out, and you had these questions where you had to pit one character against another. And so I did that tag as well because I thought it was really fun and would translate to a horror version really, really well and be kind of funny. So I just used all horror characters and pitted them against each other. And if you want to watch that video, I'll put a link at the end. But I have all of those characters from last time, and I've added a bunch of new characters from the books that I've read throughout the year. It's like my candle is getting dangerously low. Now we're coordinating. So now that I have all of my names in this box, I've tried to shake them up. Feels pretty good, feels pretty nicely mixed up. Let's pick our 3 characters. 1, 2, 3. First character is H.H. Holmes. He's a character from The Devil in the White City, which I didn't finish reading. It was a bit much for me, but H.H. Holmes is an extremely interesting non-fictional character. Gretchen from My Best Friend's Exorcism, which was really good. I don't know if you read that, but it's a really fun read. And Pennywise. Okay, first of all, who would I do necromancy with? This is like really, really hard. I definitely think Pennywise would be a really good option to go with for necromancy, because I feel like they already have an in into that whole entire world, and we might be able to, I don't know, meet some really high tier entities. So I think necromancy for Pennywise. For making a cult, I guess H.H. Holmes would be a good person to make a cult with, because he was an amazing salesman. He was very handsome, he was very charming, and it seemed like people were very ready to listen to him and take his advice. So that could be, I guess, a successful cult in some aspect. So that just leaves Gretchen. So Gretchen will have to be sacrificed to the ancient gods. And I guess it kind of goes with the trope. She's young, she's a high school student. I think she's a virgin, so I guess that makes sense. So yeah, okay. Let's do the next one. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Oop, well, there's a fourth one. I'll just put that one back. Okay, so we have Regan McNeil from The Exorcist, Papa Legbo from The Good House, and The Elephant Man, Joseph Merrick from A Taste for Monsters by Matthew J. Kirby. So Papa Legbo he's sort of like a gatekeeper between the two worlds, and he's extremely powerful. So I think he would be the perfect person to do necromancy with. I think he would be able to take me on an amazing journey, and we'd be able to meet really interesting entities and places, so that would be really good. He would know exactly what he's doing, so I just have to tag along, so that'd be really great. So the next one is to make a cult. I guess it would be the Elephant Man. I know that he loved poetry and art, and he loved socializing. I think, you know, maybe if we were to make a cult, like maybe it would be like, probably like something like a Dead Poet Society type thing, maybe. So I could see, you know, possibly that. And for sacrificing, Regan McNeil, again, she's young. She fits the trope, so, you know, she would make a good sacrifice. All right, 3 more. Oh, 3 new ones. Okay. Tara from Autumn Crow. Okay, so Autumn Crow is a collection of short stories, and it's based around this town called Autumn Crow. And in one of the stories, there is it's hard to say. It's not like it's a monster, and it's not a beast, and it's not really a ghost, but there's a mannequin that comes to life, and it's really horrifying, and the name is Tara. Maximilian Solomon is from The Last Days by Adam Neville, and actually he was in a cult. He is now like kind of more of a producer. And Abby from My Best Friend's Exorcism. Okay, so for necromancy, that's a hard one. For necromancy, this is really, really hard. I don't know who would be a good candidate for that. Well, let's go on to the next one, join a cult. So already Maximilian Solomon is already like into cults, you know, it's kind of like he's pretty comfortable in that arena and he's already experienced that. I think maybe Tara from Autumn Crow, the possessed mannequin, might be interesting to have a cult with, because you can kind of set her up as like the god or the entity or something that you want to worship, and that could be really interesting. All right, so I definitely think that I would sacrifice Maximilian Solomon to the gods. He's pretty old, he's sort of terrified for his life, and his fate is, you know, it's not looking good. So I think I would sacrifice him. So that leaves Abby as my necromancy partner. You know, we would do it like old school style. We get like a Ouija board and maybe a few tea lights. And you know, after we're done eating our pizza and stuff, and then we would go for it, I think. Yeah. Angela Toussaint from The Good House by Tanera Dew, The Cenobites, and Ruth from The Corset by Linda Purcell. Okay, so who would I necromancy with? Obviously the Cenobites. All of their powers combined will be able to just open all of the gates. This would be fantastic and exciting. As for starting a cult, I think it would be Angela Toussaint, because she has like some innate ability to commune with unseen things. It would be cool to be in a cult with her, because I feel like I would trust her and I would trust her instinct, and I know that she has this like, you know, she has this ability to sense things in the unseen. So that leaves Ruth. And Ruth, again, Ruth is, you know, young and definitely fits the trope of sacrifice. So yeah, she's a young girl in England, and she's lost all of her family and everything is just insane. So a sacrifice to the gods could be a way out. Okay. Eleanor from The Haunting of Ashburn. Christine the Gar from Stephen King's Christine. And Julia from The Grip of It, which I just finished. So for necromancy, I would go with Eleanor. She's already kind of dabbled in that world. She knows something about it, so she'd be a great companion. As for the sacrifice, it's gonna be Julia. Julia is going to be sacrificed, unfortunately, because Christine is a car, and sacrificing a car is just not as exciting or satisfying as sacrificing a human. So she's gonna be sacrificed to the old gods, and I guess, you know, for Christine, it's just gonna be a cult, a car cult. A 1950s Chevy, I think it was, I can't remember, Chevy car cult. Let's get it in here, let me get a good one. 3. All right. Ooh, Olivia Foxworth from the V.C. Andrews saga, The Doppelgangers. Lon from Perfectly Preventable Death. And Frankenstein. Okay, so for necromancy, I think Olivia Foxworth would not be a good candidate for necromancy because she's very religious. So I don't think she would be into that. Frankenstein, I'm not really sure that he is interested in talking to the dead. I think he's more interested in trying to be alive. So that leaves us with Lon. And Lon is a character who masquerades as a teen boy, but he's actually something much older, much darker. It's definitely, I guess it's gonna be Lon, necromancy. He is pretty gross and he's into dead stuff, so that will work. Who would I start a cult with? Well, again, I think Olivia Foxworth would be a good candidate for that. I mean, she already has this like cult of silence and secrets and stuff, so I think she'd be into it. So that leaves me with Frankenstein as a sacrifice for the gods. And that's really sad, actually, because Frankenstein doesn't deserve that, which doesn't really make me feel that good about it because this is a person who was brought back into the world and forced to exist again and to struggle with this new existence. So Hannibal Lecter, the Raven, Pose the Raven, and Kyle Freeman from Lost Days by Adam Neville. Okay, so necromancy, I would definitely do the Raven because the Raven talks, and I always wanted to have a conversation with an animal, so I think that this would be the perfect opportunity. As for the joining a cult, it would definitely be Hannibal Lecter. I mean, it's perfect. And his amazing library of knowledge that he has about all kinds of weird shit and interesting stuff. So I could see that being a pretty cool cult. Kyle Freeman is a indie filmmaker, and he's doing a documentary on cults. You know, I liked Kyle, but he's just gonna have to be sacrificed to the gods, unfortunately. But his movies and his film will live on. Okay, Dracula, Jack Torrance, and James from The Grip of It. Okay, I would definitely, okay, so for the necromancy, oh god, I think it would be Jack Torrance. His character is kind of off the wall anyway. He's already having these experiences, so he's already been doing some necromancy on his own. And Dracula would be the one that I would want to start a cult with. I mean, you know, living in candlelight, only coming out at night, wearing velvet and lace, and you know, I would want to be the vampire of consent, you know, like I don't want to just like take people in their sleep or whatever. So that leaves us with James. And earlier we sacrificed Julia to the gods. So James is Julia's husband in the grip of it. So I think it is apropos that we sacrifice James so he can be with his wife on the other side. So that was our tag today. Necromancy, join a cult, sacrifice. Inspired by the fuck, marry, kill tag by BookswithEmilyFox. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun for me to do. I love putting these horror characters in just situations that seem kind of like outside of their scope or outside of their storyline. It's just really, really fun. And I just kind of really needed this too today. I just needed to do something kind of stupid and frivolous and silly. I'm definitely going to tag some people, but if you want to do this tag, please do it. I would love to see it. Tag me, let me know, and I would love to watch it. I would like to tag Typical Books, Typical Lydia, Regina's Haunted Library, and Marie McWilliams. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I'm curious to see if these videos are interesting and if I should do more. So that's all for me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a really great weekend, and I'll talk to you next time.